All right, so you're with us here on the deep dive, and um, today we're going to be getting into something pretty relevant, I think, to a lot of folks out there. How businesses are really using AI, like actually applying it to get things done.
Yeah, none of that theoretical stuff.
Right. We're past the hype cycle. So we've got some really cool source material for this one, actually. We're looking at the Blue Jacks website, and we've also managed to get our hands on their business plan.
Ooh, juicy.
Yeah. So the mission here really is to kind of cut through all the noise and try to understand, what are these specific AI tools and services that Blue Jacks is offering?
The practical stuff.
Exactly. And more specifically, we want to see, what are the actual problems they're saying they can solve, for businesses out there. We're talking marketing agencies, blue-collar contractors. We even saw some stuff about recruiting
A
firms.
pretty wide range, huh?
Yeah. So this could give us, I think, a real on-the-ground look at how AI is being used right now by different types of businesses, maybe even to get a leg up on the competition.
That's the big question, right? Is it actually giving them an edge?
Totally. So looking at Blue Jacks right off the bat, what really jumps out at you?
Well, I gotta say, their ambition is kind of the first thing that hits you.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
They're not just positioning themselves as like another AI tool, right? Like we see a million of those.
Another app.
Exactly. But their whole website, like their language, talks about being this central hub, like one system for all things AI and automation.
So really comprehensive vision right from the start.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold statement right out of the gate.
Totally. So to be clear, at their core, it seems like Blue Jacks is offering AI and automation, right?
Yeah.
But what you're pointing out is the key differentiator here is this idea of bringing everything together, right? Like replacing all those different platforms businesses are juggling.
Exactly. Like you think about it, most businesses are using what? A CRM, some kind of website builder,
Yeah.
separate communication tools, and they're all from different companies.
Right. And who knows how well they all work together, if at all.
Yeah, exactly. So they're aiming to be that one-stop shop, bring it all under one roof.
Which I guess the big question then becomes, what's the point?
Hmm.
What's the actual significance of consolidating all of that?
Okay, so this is where the business plan gets really interesting. It talks about this self-reinforcing ecosystem they're trying to build.
A self-reinforcing ecosystem. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not just about like each individual business becoming more efficient, which is obviously a good thing, but it's more about creating this like network effect
Oh, I see.
where different types of businesses are actually fueling each other's growth, all because they're using the Blue Jacks platform.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break down this ecosystem for me. Who are the players? How does it actually work?
Sure. So you've got your marketing agencies, right? Then you have your blue collar contractors, could be plumbers, electricians, you name it. And then you've got your recruiters.
So marketing, the skilled trades, and the people connecting them to jobs.
Right. And the idea is that good marketing obviously leads to more business for the contractors, who then need to hire more people, bringing the recruiters into play. And then ideally, those successful hires lead to even more growth for the contractors, allowing them to spend more on marketing, and the cycle continues.
A virtuous cycle.
Exactly. And the way Blue Jacks' AI supposedly comes in is by, well, actually creating and facilitating those connections, automatically.
Instead of it just being like a happy coincidence occasionally.
Right. And the key here is that Blue Jacks' AI tools are designed to work together. So, for example, think about the insights that the AI is gathering from the marketing campaigns managed through the platform. Those insights could then be used to identify hiring needs for the contractors who are also on the platform.
Making the connections in real time.
Yeah, precisely. And this then allows the recruiters on the platform to proactively target candidates who have the exact skills that are suddenly in high demand.
So they can fill those roles faster.
Exactly. It's about the AI actually understanding and acting on those connections in the background, constantly, instead of relying on people to manually put the pieces together.
So it's not just separate AI tools for each business type.
Yeah.
It's like these tools are talking to each other, working together behind the scenes to make this whole ecosystem function.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But let's get into the nuts and bolts here. What are these individual tools? On their website, they have this section about Blue Agent features, and they list three main categories: CRM and pipeline management, a drag-and-drop website builder, and voice AI.
Hmm.
Let's start with the CRM. They're basically trying to take on giants like HubSpot and Salesforce, which is a pretty bold move. What do you think they're doing differently to even try to compete in that space?
Well, it's got to be the AI, right? Like they're baking AI-powered automation right into the platform.
Instead of it being like an add-on or something.
Yeah. Exactly. And, they have all the usual CRM features, contact management, pipeline visualization, all that. But the real difference, I think, is how their AI is handling lead nurturing and follow-ups. It seems like it's actually learning from past interactions to figure out how to best engage with each contact, which is something traditional CRMs just aren't doing, at least not to this extent.
Okay, so it's not just about storing your contacts. The AI is actively trying to help you convert them into clients.
Right.
They also mentioned consolidating inboxes from all these different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, even Google My Business. What's the AI angle there? How's that supposed to work?
I mean, just think about how many messages businesses get these days, right? Across all those different channels.
It can be overwhelming.
Totally. So the idea is that BlueJack's AI can actually analyze all those messages, figure out which ones need immediate attention, and even suggest appropriate responses.
So it's like an AI triage nurse for your inbox. That makes a lot of sense. It's using AI to do the filtering and prioritization that would take a human, hours to do.
Yeah, and it probably does it better, frankly. Like, it can pick up on nuances that humans might miss, especially when you're dealing with a high volume of messages.
And I imagine it prevents things from slipping through the cracks, which can be a big problem when you're getting messages from so many different places.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. The drag and drop website builder. This one is interesting because they're aiming to compete with platforms like Wix and WordPress, which are already pretty user-friendly.
Right. Like, how much easier can you make it than drag and drop?
Exactly. So what do you think BlueJacks is offering in this area that's actually powered by AI?
Well, they list all the standard features.
Yeah.
Drag and drop editor, customizable templates, that kind of stuff. But I think the AI really comes in with things like SEO optimization, analyzing the content and suggesting improvements based on like industry best practices.
So it's not just about making a pretty website. It's about making a website that actually ranks well in search results.
Right. And also things like suggesting relevant content based on the business type, or even like analyzing user behavior on the website and recommending design tweaks to improve engagement.
So the AI is working in the background, even after the website is built, to make sure it's actually performing well and achieving the business's goal.
Exactly. It's like having a built-in web consultant constantly optimizing things for you.
That's pretty neat. Okay, let's talk about the last Blue Agent category, Voice AI. They're positioning this as a replacement for personal assistants or even customer service teams, which is where the AI seems to really come to the forefront. But we saw some overlap with the features listed under the CRM, things like contact management and pipeline visualization. So how do those features manifest differently in a voice AI context?
It really highlights how integrated this whole system is supposed to be.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, imagine the voice AI is handling a customer call, right? It's not just a separate interaction. The AI is simultaneously updating that customer's record in the CRM, logging the conversation, and it could even be moving the lead further down the sales pipeline, all based on how the call went.
And all of that is happening automatically.
Yep.
That's really impressive if they can pull it off. They also mentioned the voice AI being able to answer calls 24/7, schedule appointments, promote sales. How sophisticated do you think this technology actually is?
Well, this is where the AI part really matters.
Yeah.
It's almost certainly using natural language processing, or NLP, to understand what the caller's actually saying, what they're asking for. And then it can access information from the CRM or other integrated systems to like actually answer questions intelligently.
Instead of it just being like a glorified answering machine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they're talking about having pre-programmed scripts that the AI can use to guide the conversation, maybe towards scheduling an appointment or highlighting a relevant promotion.
So it's not just reacting to what the caller says. It's trying to like steer the conversation in a productive direction.
Right, and you can't forget about the call logging and summarization features they mentioned. The AI can even create text transcripts of the calls. That adds a whole other level of efficiency and data capture that you just wouldn't get with a basic answering service.
It's really about understanding and acting on the information, not just recording it and filing it away.
Right, it's taking action in real time.
So beyond those core Blue Agent features, they also list a bunch of other functionalities, like using AI for reputation management. What did you make of that?
That's huge. I mean, in today's world, online reviews can make or break a business, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So the fact that they're automating that whole process, sending out review requests, maybe even analyzing the sentiment in the reviews people leave,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, that can give businesses a real advantage, helping them manage their online presence and quickly identify any areas where they need to improve.
It's like AI-powered damage control.
Yeah, in a way, but also, highlighting the positives. It's about being proactive and using the data to your advantage.
Makes sense. They also talk a lot about AI chatbots for things like SMS, email, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. We've seen chatbots before, of course. So what makes BlueJacks's chatbots potentially different or better?
I think the key here is that, again, it's all part of this integrated system.
Right, they're not just standalone tools.
Exactly. So the chatbot isn't just operating in isolation. It can pull information from the CRM, from scheduling tools, even product catalogs to provide like a more comprehensive and personalized experience for the customer.
It knows more about the customer and the business.
Right. And it can even like seamlessly hand off the conversation to a human agent if it needs to, which can make the whole customer experience a lot smoother.
That's a good point because sometimes you do need a human touch, for more complex issues.
Exactly. And then there's the AI writing assistance for content creation, which also ties into the chatbot functionality. It can use data insights from the CRM and marketing analytics to like automatically generate more effective content.
So it's not just writing, generic blog posts or social media captions. It's actually tailoring the content to specific audiences and goals.
That's the idea.
It's a lot to take in, really. It seems like they're trying to automate a lot of the things that business owners and their employees, spend hours and hours doing every week.
Yeah, that's the whole pitch, right? Free up your time so you can focus on the things that actually require, human creativity and decision making.
Totally. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the Blue Jacks business plan. What stood out to you in terms of how they're positioning themselves and their strategy?
Well, right from the elevator pitch, they're really emphasizing that interconnected ecosystem we talked about earlier.
Making those connections between different industries.
Right. Their core message is that they're building AI tools that are specifically tailored to the needs of those three distinct industries: marketing, blue collar, and recruiting.
So not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. And they're saying that the interconnectedness of these industries, all being on the same platform, creates this powerful network effect that benefits everyone involved.
It's a really compelling story, honestly. And when you look at how they break down their primary services for each sector, it really drives home the point about specialization.
Totally. Like for recruiters, they're offering AI resume scanning and virtual interview avatars. For contractors, it's AI job scheduling and instant quote generation. And for marketing agencies, they have real-time campaign optimization tools.
So it's not just generic AI, it's AI that's actually designed for the specific workflows and pain points of each industry.
Exactly. And then they quantify their value proposition, claiming things like 80% time savings on admin tasks and a 50% reduction in hiring costs.
Which are some pretty bold claims, I gotta say.
Yeah, but that's the kind of impact they're aiming for, by focusing on these very specific needs with these tailored AI solutions.
It's smart because if you can actually deliver on those promises, you've got a really strong selling point.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just hype, it's actual measurable results.
Totally. Now, the business plan also lays out what they see as the business problem for each of their target markets. So for recruiters, it's bad hires and all the time wasted on admin tasks. For contractors, it's losing bids because they're slow to get quotes out to potential clients. And for marketers, it's proving the return on investment of their campaigns. It seems like they've done their homework, really digging into the key frustrations these businesses are facing.
And by clearly defining those problems, they can then position their AI-powered tools as, the direct solutions to those pain points. It's a very classic marketing strategy, but it's effective.
So, the AI interview avatar directly addresses the bad hire problem by analyzing candidates and ranking them based on their suitability for the role.
Exactly. And then the instant quote generator tackles the slow quoting problem for contractors, helping them convert more leads.
It's all about that problem-solution alignment.
Yeah, and they actually get even more specific, which I thought was interesting. Like they mention electricians as a key segment within the contractor market.
Okay, so not just contractors in general, but electricians specifically.
Right. And then they highlight how the voice assistant and the instant quote generator would directly benefit electricians in their day-to-day work. That level of specificity, I think, makes the value proposition a lot clearer and more tangible for potential customers.
It moves it beyond like the abstract claims and shows how it would work in the real world.
Exactly. And then they go on to define their target market even further, talking about HR directors, small contractor owners,
So
CMOs.
they're getting very granular with who they're going after.
Yeah. And that allows them to, create much more targeted marketing campaigns.
Makes sense.
Mm.
And the market size and segments data they provide suggests there are some pretty huge opportunities in each of those sectors.
Yeah. They're not going after small potatoes here.
Now, in the competition section, they acknowledge that there are both general AI tools out there, as well as industry-specific software solutions. So how do they differentiate themselves from those competitors? What are they saying makes them unique?
Their competitive advantages section is all about that industry-specific AI. They're not trying to be a one-size-fits-all solution. And they also claim that their platform is really quick to set up and start using.
So they're emphasizing speed to value.
Exactly. And then, of course, they've got that cross-sell potential within their ecosystem, which is something that a lot of those single industry solutions just don't have.
Right, because if you're already using their CRM, it's much easier to adopt their website builder or their voice AI because it's all integrated.
Exactly. They're creating like a whole suite of products that work together seamlessly.
Okay, so they're banking on that ecosystem advantage. What about the current alternative section? What are they saying about, the ways businesses are currently solving these problems?
Well, they basically point out all the limitations of the existing solutions. Like they talk about recruiters paying a ton of money for platforms that don't even have sophisticated AI matching capabilities, and contractors using like basic accounting software that doesn't have any of the job scheduling or voice AI features that they need. And then marketers who are stuck using like a dozen different tools that cost a fortune and don't even talk to each other.
It's painting a picture of a very fragmented market with a lot of unmet needs.
Yeah, that's the whole point. They're positioning themselves as this more integrated AI-powered alternative, offering a simpler, more efficient solution compared to what's out there right now.
Smart. Now, what about their marketing strategy? How are they actually planning to get the word out and reach all these different target audiences?
Well, it seems like a pretty standard mix of hyper-targeted ads, strategic partnerships, and a referral program.
So hitting it from all angles.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought the partnership aspect was particularly interesting. They specifically mentioned partnering with government entities, industry associations, even trade schools. That seems like a really smart way to build credibility and reach their target audiences, right where they are.
Yeah, going straight to the source. And the referral program, especially with the white label options for marketing agencies, that's another clever way to like incentivize growth within their ecosystem, right?
Exactly. It's like a built-in sales force.
Okay, so last but not least, there's this final note in the business plan that I just have to ask you about. They talk about creating an addiction-like dependency through this interconnected ecosystem. That's a pretty strong statement, even a little bit unsettling.
Yeah.
What do you think they're really getting at there?
Well, I mean, stripped of the provocative language, it basically means that they're banking on the fact that once businesses get used to this level of integration, once their success becomes intertwined with all these other businesses in the ecosystem.
It becomes really hard to leave.
Exactly. And that's what leads to high customer retention and ultimately sustained revenue growth for Blue Jacks.
So it's all about creating that stickiness, that sense of reliance on their platform.
Yeah, I mean, you could even say it's the whole point of building an ecosystem like this.
Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here, I think the key takeaway for our listeners is that Blue Jacks isn't just offering a bunch of individual AI tools, right?
Right, they're not just another app on your phone.
Exactly. They're building a connected system that's designed to like weave together all these essential business functions. And they're trying to create like a real synergy between different industries.
Which begs the question, how might this model, this interconnected AI-driven ecosystem, actually change the way different sectors interact and grow in the future?
That's a really interesting question to consider.
It is, right.
Because we often think about AI in terms of like individual tasks or applications. But what Blue Jacks is doing is, thinking bigger, thinking about how AI can impact whole industries and the relationships between them.
Yeah, it's a whole different level of thinking about AI, not just as a tool, but as a fundamental part of the business landscape.
Totally. And that brings us to our final thought for you to ponder, dear listener. As AI gets more and more specialized, as these ecosystems become more complex and integrated, what are the potential pros and cons of businesses becoming so reliant on these AI systems for their basic operations.
It's a question we all need to be asking ourselves, really.
It is. Is this the future of business? And if so, what does that mean for us, as workers, as consumers, as, well, humans? Food for thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.